Hi everyone. I'm going to go over some of these arc length questions with you. This assignment is due tonight, I believe. So first, we need to know the formula for this. So the formula is the arc length over the entire circumference is equivalent to the arc measure over 360. So essentially, what you're saying is this piece, right, the piece of the arc to the entire circumference of the circle is equivalent to the ratio of the measure of the arc, meaning in degrees, over 360 degrees. I should put a little degrees here. So you have to take the information from the problem and set up the proportion. So in this question, it says a circle has a circumference of 6 and has an arc length of 1. So I'm going to put in the information where it belongs. The arc length is 1. The circumference is 6. The question is saying, what is the central angle of the arc? So we know the arc measure and the central angle. So the central angle is equivalent to the arc measure. So we're looking for this, the arc measure, and this is over 360. So basically, all you have to do in order to solve this is simply cross multiply. So we do 360 times 1, which is 360, is equal to 6 times x, which is 6x. Just going to erase this so it looks a little neater. And then all we got to do now is divide by 6. And 360 divided by 6 gives me 60 degrees. So my arc measure is 60 degrees. Let's just check to make sure this is correct. And when you think about it, it makes sense that this is correct, right? Because the arc measure has to be 1/6 of 360 in this case, which is 60 degrees. Okay, this is a slightly more challenging example because in this case, they did not give you the circumference. So here we see it says a circle has a radius of 3 degrees. An arc in the circle has a central angle of 340 degrees. All right, so what is the length of the arc? So in this case, we're looking for the length of the arc. So I'm going to call that x over the circumference. But again, we don't know what the circumference is. So we have to use the circumference formula, 2 pi r. I'm not going to use pi times diameter in this case because we're not given a diameter. We're given a radius. So we'd say x over 2 pi times the radius, 3. I'm replacing r with 3, is equivalent to the arc measure, which is the central angle, so 340 over 360 degrees. Remember, always degrees go with degrees. So that's one way you can always remember what goes here. Again, we're going to cross multiply. So 360 times x is 360x. And here we'll have 340 times 2 times pi times 3. So in this case, they said to use 3.14 as pi. So let's replace this with 3.14. I can't do this in my head, so I'm going to get my calculator out. So 340 times 2 times 3.14 times 3 gives me 6,405.6 Finally, I divide by 360. And this will give me my arc length. So 6,405.6 divided by 360 is roughly, it's about 17.79. So let's see if this is the answer. 17.79. And that was correct. Great. Let me know if you have any questions. These, again, can be a little more challenging because in this case you have to use the circumference formula. I believe every question tells you to use 3.14 instead of pi, so if you don't have a calculator at home, that should make it a little bit easier. All right, good luck.